why I got out of bed at all.
Hello, critic. What you said is intellectually dishonest. Now, your first fatal flaw is that you fail to differentiate between killing and murder. When God takes someone's life, is God murdering that person? No. God cannot murder like you and I can murder. God is the creator of life, and the creator has the right to do with his creation as he sees fit. Deuteronomy 32:39 tells us that as the creator of life, it is the creator's prerogative to give and take away life. Now, technically, God has killed every single person who has ever lived in this world who was not murdered by another human being. But if the Bible is true, people don't actually die, they merely change locations. Again, if the Creator chooses to move his creation to a different location, well, what is that to you? And the final fatal flaw in your argument is that you assume that God's judgment on people is unjust and unwarranted. Well, there's some bad news. You're a walking contradiction because, one, you're trying to argue that God is immoral when you have no absolute standard of morality by which to measure immorality, and two, you complain when God does nothing about evil, and then you complain when God finally does something about evil. And further, God does not kill arbitrarily. God doesn't just wake up one morning like a mafia boss and say, "This group of people, I want them dead. I have no reason for it. I just want them dead." No! In stark contrast, God always provides mercy and warning prior to judgment. Oh, and P.S., in order to argue that God commits unjust and unwarranted murder, you would have to presuppose God's existence. So, does God exist? Now, no doubt you will probably argue that you're just arguing from what the Bible says. You're not admitting that God exists. Oh, but if you do that, well, then you would have to actually report accurately what the Bible says. But you didn't do that. Your argument is a classic example of a straw man fallacy because you're creating a false position about what the Bible says and then attacking your false position. So, does the creator of life relocate his creation? Yes. Well, does God murder? No. And now, without further ado, in order to counter your depiction of a Christian crying in the shower at the thought of God relocating his creation, here is footage of me trying to talk some sense into you.
It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground!
You underestimate my power.
Don't try it!